When it comes to music promotion, many artists fail at it simply because they don't put some practices in place in the creation process of the music. And because they don't do that, music promotion seems a bit difficult, and it doesn't have to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the beginning of your creation process. I'm going to implement some steps that you need to take that are very, very simple steps that maybe you thought about before, but you didn't implement. And once we put them in, we're going to come back to the surface of music promotion so we can change the culture around you. So let's hop into the Music Money Makeover show. These tips that I'm going to give to you today are very, very simple, and we're going to jump into the first one, which is intention. Be intentional. Being intentional about how you initially want the people to react to your music allows your music promotion to become even more potent and receptive to the people. People can feel your intent, and people can also feel when your intent is fabricated. This is why it's important to be intentional in the creation process. So when you start to promote, people receive your offerings much more easily than something that is forced. When you're intentional about what you want to do, it's saying, man, I want music to feel like this, or I want what I'm creating to feel like this, or like that. I want it to feel rough and rugged, like I'm working hard, like dirty hands, like people who work on oil rigs or work somewhere out in Colorado or Wyoming and you got to drive a dirty Ford pickup truck or a Chevy pickup truck. Like I want it to have that feel. Or I want to have a party feel that has a Miami vibe to it. Or I want a party feel that has a New York club vibe to it in the 1980s. You see what I'm saying? I want that. I want a disco vibe to my music. Or I want a strip club vibe to my music where it replicates what's going on in the Deep South. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You get what I mean? That's the original intent. That's not the feeling, which I'm going to get into, but that's the intent. That's what we're going to do. Cool. Let's set out on it. Now let's go into feeling. Check it out. Selling feelings. This is ultimately what we're selling in this game. The reason why artists fail at music promotion is because they suck at selling feelings. Let that sink in for a minute. The first step to promoting music is not how often you're going to show your product to people, but rather what feeling and impact you want this product to have on people. Feelings give you direction and purpose. It starts in the studio, and if you can put the phrase into your lexicon, I want people to feel, into your creative process in the beginning, it will change the energy with which you promote your music. So with the intent, it was, I want this music to feel like this. Now, when we switch it to selling the feeling, I want people to feel. Because first it was what you wanted to create. We got to be intentional about what we create. Then it became, once I created this, I want the people to feel like this. And I'm going to show you how this now can change the way you promote your music because the intent was already set. Funny thing is, I was just talking to a client who booked a call with me recently. And I said, why did this third single that you did do better than the other two? And I said, but you got to look at what you put into it. You wanted the music to have a certain feel and you gave it that. You gave your visualizer the same feel that the cover had. But on the other two singles, you didn't do that. I could tell you were trying to do something, but it wasn't conveyed properly because the intent in the song, not the visual first, but the song was not met. It was confusing. It was like, I'm doing something. But once you said, this is what I want this song to feel like, and then you said, I want the people to feel this way, the visual matched with the artwork and they both meshed together. And that essentially was the one that everybody loved out of the test group of people that heard it. And it's not ironic to me that this works. I understand this type of thing when it comes to marketing. The problem is people do not put intent on the music that they create. Therefore, they can't create the proper visuals. Let's go a little bit deeper and then we'll bring it back to promotion. Now we're selling experience. So look at this. Selling feelings turns into selling an experience. This is the visual I was talking about. So imagine if you say in your creation process, I want people to feel blank when they hear my music. This will then turn into what you want the listener to feel when they experience the visual and the live show, when you make it to that point. That feeling creates a visual, and that visual becomes the imagery you use to promote the music. Boom, we're back to promotion, which gives off the feeling that you wanted people to feel in the first place. This creates an experience from the initial intention. So if you're following me here, we had a purpose to create. We didn't just create And watch this, which is what a lot of you all do. We didn't just create because we said the market needs this. We're creating this because we want to create this. There's a big difference. I used to create music for money because I'm like, man, I'm trying to get paid. I see everybody, all these other producers making money. I'm gonna make this music and I'm gonna make some money, which is what I'm gonna say 85% of the creators in this game do, is they make music to make money. Yes, you're going to make money, but there's never an intent. The original intent is I'm making this to make money. So you didn't put a spirit, a soul onto the creation process. You put the energy in that, hey man, I'm just out here slanging these beats, or I'm out here slanging these songs. Not, I want the people to move a certain way. The producer, the songwriter, and the artists have to come together as the creators of the music and put their intention into the creation process. This is something bigger than just the money itself. This is something bigger than the creator, that one single person themselves, bigger than the songwriter, the artist, or the producer, right? You all have to come together with a common intention. Turn that feeling or the feel that you want into a feeling that you will sell to people. That in turn creates a visual and a vision that not just one person, but all three of you creating a song can clearly see, because everybody was on one accord with the original intent. This is now what makes your music promotion potent. And you can be like, man, I'm just out here trying to run these ads. I'm just trying to make some Instagram content. Well, yeah, you can go and do that, but people aren't going to resonate with it because they can feel, remember what I said back at the intent, they can feel when it's inauthentic. They can feel when it's not real, because we are all moving on emotion. Sound waves make us move, emote. It gives us an action to do with motion, and that's what music is. So what do we do once we create a visual from the original intent and we create the feelings that we're going to sell to people now? We essentially begin to change the culture, the fabric of culture. Check it out. Changing culture. Experience, if delivered properly, becomes culture. Changing the culture means you have changed the dynamics of society. This means that your intent has been woven deeply into the fabric of society, leaving a mark on the world. This makes you a household name, and it all started with the intention you put in place in the creation process. But I'm just saying, if you put the intent on it, you created the feel, then you created the visual and let's just say the artwork for, S&Gs, you create the artwork and you encapsulated this audio file, this vocal performance into an audio file, and then you gave it to the people, and then you made them move, and then they started moving. And then the things that you said in the song became commonplace in the local lexicon of language, right? And how people speak. And then it became a regional thing, right? And then it became, let's say it became a southeastern thing. Then it became, and then it spread. Then it spread across the country and became a national thing. And then the next thing you know, it became worldwide. That is called changing the culture. You see what I'm saying? But it all came from the original intent. So again, if the intent is potent, the marketing materials are easy to create. The visuals are easy to create. Everything reflects what it is you wanted to do. And so long as the market is ready to receive enough of what you created, it will pull it in with ease, We didn't spend any money. Only thing we did was we took time to adjust our approach in creation. Let's keep going. Now, I must reiterate that people don't listen to the best music. People listen to music where the intention, the message, and the feeling is conveyed the clearest. Point blank. Period. Like I just heard this new Cardi B joint. I think was it Rob 49 or something. Anyway, I just heard it, and what she was saying in the song is clear. I'm not going to repeat it on this channel, but you can go find it. Right? It's a new record that she's on, and it involves doing some things on the top of money. Right? $100 bills to be exact. But anyway, you catch my drift. If you go listen to that song, if you like rap music, clearly the intention is clear about what they want to have happen on some $100 bills. The visual in your mind then becomes very clear about what the purpose of this song was for. You see what I'm saying? That's just only that I was just listening to New Music Friday on Spotify, so that's why it just came to my head, at the top of my head. I mean, but there's a lot of things out there. Point is, you can feel when it's real and when it's clear. When it's clear, you don't even have to try to promote. That's the thing. When it's clear, you don't have to try. And watch this now. Let's go deep into the mind again. When it's clear, I don't have to burn the person, the listener, the consumer. We don't have to burn brain cells to try to figure out what it is you were trying to do. Because again, all we're trying to do is get home after working a 9 to 5, release some stress, go dance at a club or at a barbecue or kick back on the beach or go do something with our friends, or somebody in the TV industry needs some music to do something with on screen to convey that same feeling. You catch my drift here? So to reiterate it again, if we go back to the beginning, we focus on the intent, then we create the feeling, that feeling creates the visual, and then that visual becomes what we move on for our promotional materials to promote the song. Then we can change the culture even easier. It makes it easy to do. It's not that difficult, and it doesn't require cash. Okay, let's keep going. Now here's you. I hear you, but how does it make the promotion easier, right? The promotion process easier. The vision will be clear to your team and yourself about how and what channels should be used to keep the feeling and experience intact, so the audiences will receive it properly instead of letting them decipher it, which is basically what I just said. I mean, I'm not going to reiterate that. Let's keep going. What do you mean by channels? Channels are marketplaces that you deliver your music to so that you can do the action of promoting it in the market, otherwise known as marketing. So if you're marketing and promoting in a place not fit for the original intent, feeling, and experience, it will be a waste of time, effort, manpower, and money. So if you're going to put this music into a specific channel, you now know the channel that it will reside in based on the initial intent. So it's almost like market planning in the beginning, but just pretend, for instance, many creators, they just don't know about marketing. Like, yeah, I know it's something that you're supposed to do, but as a creative, the only bit of marketing you can come up with is what I just told you. The creation process, the intent, the feeling, right? The way you're going to change the culture, getting the message clear, getting the lyrics clear, getting the diction right on the song. That's what you do. That's the best that you could do marketing wise, and hope that the market takes it. So by the time you get it to a marketing team, they don't have to struggle with getting your vision off, and the vision doesn't get skewed. Oh man, the company didn't do what they were supposed to do. So when you put it in the channel, like you put it in a proper river, if you will, then you don't have to struggle to figure out where does this fit in this particular channel. Does it have the things that I need to get maximum exposure for the record? Anyway, let's keep going. Now, what happens if you promote outside of the target market? The only way to pull an out-of-pocket marketing play is to call it a PR stunt. Sometimes they work and sometimes they go horribly wrong. It's a 50-50 roulette gamble. That's why I said in the last slide, you want to have that original intent to put it in the proper channel. Now, check this out, because this is how I'm intentional about helping people build their record labels, especially in 60 days or less. Check it out. If you are a music creative or a new music executive who wants to build your record or publishing company in 60 days or less with a step-by-step foolproof process, jump into what I've created called the 60-Day Record Label course. You'll gain the ability to get real funding for your record label. You won't get lost in the sauce and screwed contractually in the game, because I'm going to help you prevent yourself from doing that. And then on top of that, you'll be able to collect your international and domestic record and publishing royalties without the middleman getting in your side of your pockets and all that and taking your money out. But if you're skeptical about this process, then grab the free guide beneath this video, 10 major ways to increase your record label's profits. A free split sheet is included with that download. Now, let's talk about your upside here. Keeping the original intent intact will allow the art to live as you intended it to live. This keeps the mind of the creator at ease. The public will see it as it should be seen, so long as you create the feeling with great intention and detail. Now, this ultimately allows you to change the current culture. I think that one's a bit self-explanatory. Let's talk about the downside here. Now, if you let the world run with it, in many cases, this is what happens when the feeling of your art isn't strong or provoking enough. People will just make their own assumptions about what you are trying to do. And this causes your music to be put off as mediocre, and the hole in the abyss will open up for your music to fall into because you didn't create the intent for it to live. In many cases, you probably only wanted the money. And that's, like I said in the beginning, only 85% of you really are doing it for the money. The rest of the 15% are doing this because they want to change the world and the fabric of the world, and they want to change the culture with what they're doing, right? Clearly, you can see what I'm wearing, and you might say, hey, he looks a little bit like Rev Run, or, Run DMC with the hat and the Adidas jacket. That's a culture changing moment that happened years ago that people will never forget. It was woven into the fabric of culture, especially hip hop culture. You get what I'm saying? So that is the ultimate intent, to change the culture. I don't know any artist who doesn't want to do this, or who doesn't intend to do that. Even if they're doing it just to make money, they're hoping that what they're doing to make money will change the culture. But you don't want to start with the money first. You want to start with the original intent. And everybody has to be on board with that intent to make it change the game. So if music promotion has always been a problem for you, or has just been something that has been that hump for you to get over, go back to the beginning of this video, or just go back to your creation process so you can change the intent. So when you drop your single, your EP, or your album, it will begin to resonate with your music promotion process. Hope this wasn't too deep for you, but Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course beneath this video, download the free guide below, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, smash the like button beneath this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.